I'm measuring out the space I need for my raised beds and for my walkways. Well, if you haven't been following, this is the second episode of Garden with Jad, where I'm building this garden and taking you along with my journey, where I'm growing vegetables in raised beds, containers, and in ground, and taking you on the journey on how to grow organic. So let's get started. I'm pulling in the weed block fabric where my walkways are going to be. Now I'm using these 4-foot walkways. Now my raised beds are 5 foot and 4 foot. So let me dig into that a little bit as well. Actually 4-foot raised beds are perfect to reach over and get to your produce. However, the width of 5-foot raised beds is also very doable. Now you can make them 8 foot long, 10 foot long, 12 foot long as you desire. Now for the walkways, I'm putting in a weed block that's 4 feet wide. You can also put a weed block that's 3 foot wide. It's just going to make a narrower walkway. Now, I've done that before, and the issue I had is when the plants are growing on both sides of the walkway and they're kind of growing into the walkway, it's a little bit harder to walk through. It's still manageable and doable if you want to go with a 3-foot walkway. However, just to give me more space, I'm putting in a 4-foot walkway, and I'm going to go a little bit further out and put my raised beds right on top of this weed block fabric, securing the weed block in place. That's going to make my walkways right about 3 foot and 8 inches or so. Now after putting those in, I'm going to secure the weed block with stakes. Now this is the area that I've selected to build my raised beds. As you can see, the walkways are going in and the area is marked out where the raised beds are going to go. This area receives plenty of sunlight, which makes it a really nice area to grow my vegetable garden. In this series, I'm planting in raised beds, in-ground beds, and containers. I'm planting in full sun and in partial shade, so I'm covering all bases. This video, however, is focused on setting up your raised bed garden. So let's build those raised beds. Now, when building your raised beds, there are quite a few materials you can choose from to build your raised beds. Now, personally, I would refrain from using pressure-treated wood. However, I've heard that a lot of people are saying that pressure-treated wood these days, they do not contain any more chemicals. If you can find heat-treated woods, especially pallets, the panels that are heat-treated, you can use those. They do not contain any chemicals. Now, I would refrain from using pressure-treated wood because I don't know actually what goes into treating the pressure-treated wood. However, if you're certain that the pressure-treated wood is free of chemicals and toxins, it's up to you if you can use it. What I like to use, what is the most economical way to build my raised beds, is 2x8 Douglas Firs. Now what I do is I scorch these with a torch. Now this brings out the beautiful grain in the wood. And then I seal the wood with raw linseed oil. Now do not use boiled linseed oil because boiled linseed oil contains toxins and heavy metals. So use pure raw linseed oil. It takes much longer for the raw linseed oil to dry up. So let your wood dry up for at least a week before you start building your raised beds. Linseed oil is really good at preserving your wood so it does not decay, and it also repels pests as well. So if you apply linseed oil on your wood, it will last much longer. Now there are other materials that are available to build your raised beds as well, such as corrugated metals. I would refrain from using plastics. However, all of these other options do cost a lot of money. You can also use fence pickets that are made of redwoods. Now, these are also very economical. However, they are very thin. They are not even 1 inch thick. Now, 2x8 Douglas Fir is really strong and it's very durable once it's treated with raw linseed oil. Now, in order to make your raised beds, first find a level ground, such as concrete. Now, this helps really well to make even joints. Then, arrange the pieces of wood in the shape you want your raised bed to be. First, drill a pilot hole where you want to put in your screws. This prevents the wood from splitting. Make sure both pieces of wood are even and then drive in your screws to make the joint. I'm digging up trenches on the edges of where my raised beds are going to be so I can pull up the water from this line up to my raised beds. I'm putting in the tees where the raised beds are going to be so I can put another pipe on top of this to put the water out for the raised bed. I'm only going about 2 inches deep, so the pipe is not too deep. It's just that pipe is out of the way and no one trips over the pipe.
And now I'm picking up the raised beds and putting them in place. Now the reason I put down the weed block for my walkways first is because the edge of my raised bed is sitting right on top of that weed block. So I have about 2 inches of my raised bed's edge on top of the weed block, which prevents the weed block from lifting, and it also prevents the weeds from growing on the edges of my raised bed. Weed block makes clean walkways and it helps to reduce the amount of time you'll be spending weeding. Now if you have gophers and moles in your area, you can put down a wire mesh like this one under your raised bed, which will prevent the gophers and moles from digging and coming into your raised beds.
So the raised beds are in, and Lily is trying to help set up the raised beds as well. More likely, she's just trying to get pet. Right, Lily? Now I'm checking to see the level of these raised beds. I want these raised beds pretty leveled. Now let me check this end here. And this one is a little bit higher, so I'm going to take out a little bit of the soil underneath to level this. Next, I'm making my raised bed square with my walkway. I want to make sure these are actually perpendicular to my walkway. Right there. As you can see, the raised beds are now straight and level with the walkway. Wait, what's going on here? Hey, Lily, these are not your raised beds. These are mine. Lily, I need to plant in here. Lily, you can't just have these raised beds. It costs money to make these raised beds. You don't have any money. Lily, you can have your own raised beds where you can make your own money. Lily, I know it's not fair, but this is how the world works. Well, check these out. These raised beds are ready to go and they're ready to be filled. Next, I'm putting in a riser. So I'm measuring where I need to cut. Right about here, and in goes the pipe. And then the L connector to supply the water to the raised bed. Now here's the question. Now I can stake these so they don't move at all. However, once I fill these raised beds, the weight of the soil will not let the raised beds move. So you let me know. I have these stakes. Should I really stake them and actually make them rigid, tight to the ground so they don't move at all? Or do you think just filling them with the soil is enough for them not to move at all? Wait, what's going on over there? Excuse me, what's going on over here? Lily's Farm Fresh eggs, $7 a dozen. Lily, you got these eggs from the chicken coop? Lily, you're selling eggs to make money? Lily! Now, if you're looking for a gardening-based gift for a friend, you can check out these mugs. The link is in the description of this video. And I'm also giving away these mugs every month as well. So if you want to get notification on these giveaways, you can sign up for my gardening email list, which is also in the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching Lily as well. And if you did, check out this video on the raised bed mistake you must avoid, and I'll see you in another video.